Hey, thanks for tuning in to another fun episode with two of your favorite Mouseka moms, me, Juliana, hi, and Jennifer.
Hello.
So we're still in the midst of our busy spring break season. So we wanted to continue with our theme from last week and our Walt Disney World tours. In this age of no FastPasses and social distancing, when things can be pretty crowded this time of year, we wanted to cover our must-dos this week at Animal Kingdom, so that you can prioritize your day in that park with our favorite things, because our favorite things should be your favorite things. No, I'm just kidding.
But they should. You're right.
Right?
You're right.
I mean, no, but Animal Kingdom, yes. So we're going to tell you all about our day at Animal Kingdom. I can't talk today. I'm sorry.
It's hard for a podcaster when you wake up and can't talk.
Maybe I need a Mouseka Cocktail, Jen.
Yes. I need you to tell me what the name of this one is, though, because I forgot to write it down.
Bonarita.
Oh, it's the Bonarita. Sorry.
Bonarita.
Yes. So today's Mouseka Cocktail is the Bonarita.
One of Jen's favorites. She drinks it all the time.
Right now, in fact, I should be. As the name implies, this is a margarita. You can find this at the Nomad Lounge in Discovery Island, which is right next to Tiffin's. So go in, grab a drink. You can also, they have some appetizers, sit for a while. It's beautiful. It's right on the water. Anyway, this is a blend of mezcal, grapefruit liqueur, guava puree, and lime juice. It sounds a little bit like a twist on a Paloma, too. Not as much as a margarita, but I see that's why it's called a margarita, because of the mezcal. I would order it without the guava puree.
Same.
You know our thing with the sweet drinks. I think it sounds perfect with just the grapefruit and lime and the heat from the mezcal. So I'm all over that one.
It's going to have some smokiness, right?
Yeah.
The mezcal is like an aged oaky tequila. This sounds so refreshing and really delicious. Good. Yeah. I've never had grapefruit liqueur before, but I'm down.
I haven't either. I think this would be good, equally good with a little splash of grapefruit juice instead of the liqueur.
Mm-hmm. Let's just change the whole drink.
I know, right?
This is the drink of the day, except we're going to completely change the recipe. You know what, everybody? Just order a Paloma and just save yourself the trouble.
Yeah, go to Nomad Lounge, order a Paloma. Or maybe with the mezcal, because that's not typically part of a Paloma. It's just usually tequila.
Regular tequila. Yeah. So you order the Paloma, I'll order the Bonarita, and we'll take notes. We'll compare, and we'll report back to the Mouseka fans.
Oh, when is this happening?
So for those of you, our listener, you probably know that Jen is going in like 10 days.
8 to be exact, actually. I'm not counting. Sorry.
I am going in October for the anniversary. Woohoo! But we're not going to be there together because she can't come in October and I can't go this week.
Yes, but I am Mouseka friends, help me. I am trying to convince my dear friend to do a impromptu July visit.
It's not happening.
I don't know. You say that now. Let's take some bets.
Let us know, Mouseka friends, Mouseka fans, if I should try to squeeze in a July trip to the Dubs.
She should. Okay. Oh. All right, let's get to business here and start talking about our favorite thing.
So I love Animal Kingdom. Can we just pause and talk about that for 1 second? I think that Animal Kingdom is the most underrated park in all of Walt Disney World. For me, it is the most relaxed park day that you can have. There's plenty to do and plenty to see, and I never feel rushed there.
Yes. So square acreage wise, it's I think the second, maybe the first largest park.
I think it is the largest.
Most of it is taken up by the safari.
Right.
Which is fine. But this is definitely one of those parks that it's so you said it perfectly. It's so underrated. I think you can spend an entire day just forget about the rides and all, just exploring and all the little nooks and crannies and things you can see on their walking trails and through the little Discovery Island. And it's awesome. So
it's not a zoo.
It is
people.
not a zoo.
It is not a zoo. We have to post that. Have we seen that?
Not in a long time.
Not a zoo. It's not a zoo, and it's not a, I don't want to say it's not a theme park, because it's obviously a theme park, but it's not like an amusement park, and it's just fabulous. I just love it. And I feel
fabulous.
I feel bad for people that skip it, because it's just not my favorite decision that people make. I love it.
Agreed.
I love it.
I think there are a couple of differences now that I'm a little upset about. It's a big one for me for entertainment. I love, I can stand there for hours in Africa and watch the street performers and the drummers. And
yes.
And that's such a huge part of every trip for me.
It's
so
magic.
I'm a little sad. I have not, that is the one park, we just said don't skip that one, but that is the one park that I have not been to in a year. Just because the trips that we've done during COVID for work and everything, unfortunately, did not include things we needed to find in Animal Kingdom. But
well, we were traveling for recon, and there's nothing new there. There's nothing new happening at Animal Kingdom, so it didn't make sense for us to use our limited time to go. I fought them, guys.
I know. It was hard to go there and to not go to Animal Kingdom.
I wanted to go. But
the three of us love it.
Yeah, we only had 3 park days, and since Hollywood Studios had everything big and new, and Magic Kingdom's obviously Magic Kingdom, like it just made sense, but it was a bad decision.
So this will be my first time there without all that entertainment. So I think a part of me will be a little bit sad. However, because there aren't planned or timed things as much for me to do, I'm excited about being able to take my time walking around the Tree of Life and
even more so
that I don't notice all the time, and those kinds of things. And I want to kind of do, I've been reading a lot about a lot of hidden Mickeys there in Animal Kingdom. So I've been making a list. So I want to try to explore and see if I can find those. And I also read a lot about the Imagineer Joe Rohde, who created Animal Kingdom.
Retired, by the way.
Who just retired this year. He
retired.
That's a whole other podcast. But apparently he left his mark in a lot of places. So that's the other, it's hidden Mickeys and hidden Joe Rohdes.
That's cool. That's cool.
So I want to use this as a COVID silver lining and just use it as an opportunity to kind of explore.
And even though we've said you don't feel rushed in that park and there's so much to see and do, I've definitely not seen and done it all. So it's a lot about COVID in all the parks. I feel like with certain things missing really does give you the opportunity to slow down. And here you will not be bored. It is not a half day park. Stop it.
Right?
Stop it. It is not a half day park. It can be. It absolutely can be. You will have a wonderful day. In fact, we've often left that park around 4:00 thinking that we'll come back for the show, way back when, and it doesn't happen. But so you can be a tool.
More that it's a hard one to get back to.
Yeah, maybe. Anywho, but the things that you can do in Animal Kingdom and the things that we love to do. So just like last time, we're going to just go through our must-dos, things that you are going to want to do with your time at Animal Kingdom. So of course, main attraction for everybody at all these parks is rides, right? Everybody loves the rides. We forgot to mention, by the way, that Lori's not with us today. I think that's fairly obvious.
Wait, what?
But she did. She did give us some of her.
She gave us her stuff. Yeah. So you want to start?
No, sorry. Go ahead.
All right. Well, Lori and I are in agreement here. Our favorite thing, our biggest must-do when we go to this park is the Kilimanjaro Safari. I know that there are more thrilling rides and attractions out there right now, especially with Pandora and all that. But for me, I have never been to Animal Kingdom without going on the Kilimanjaro Safaris. And I like to do them, if I'm so lucky, I like to do them twice. Not necessarily on the same day, because it is that park is a priority for my family. So we usually like to go more than once. I like to go first thing in the morning because that's when all the animals are waking up and eating their breakfast, and you can really catch some amazing animals. And now that pre-COVID, when they were staying up later, I like to go at night too, because then you see all the nocturnal animals and it's a whole different experience, believe it or not.
Do you remember when Animal Kingdom was never open in the evenings because to protect the animals and to make sure they rested, and for whatever reason they were able to take care of the animals and still keep it open in the evening. But for a long time, that was not an option.
Right. And it is a cool option. There really are, like, you know, the lions sleep all day in the sun. So I always see them, but you always see them like on a rock, passed out, like me sometimes. But at night you can actually see, like, I have awesome pictures from the last time I was there with them, like walking around and yawning, and where else can you see that? Yeah. Shy of going to Africa and doing the safari.
No, I love the safari. It's definitely a must do. So I have a little funny story about safari, and it's more like a funny story about me and my attitude. So the first time I took my kids, you know, Animal Kingdom was obviously on the list, and you got to do the safari in the morning, blah, blah, blah. So of course I fast passed it for like 9:15, or 10 or something. So we could do like something without a line first and then do it. You know, I strategized. So we get there and the fast pass line is like a mile long. And I'm like, what? I have, you know, I like to plan it like every minute.
They're messing up the schedule.
What is up here? Like, this is gonna make me twitch. So no, so it turns out that the ride had to be shut down. The ride, it's not really a ride, it's an actual safari, had to be shut down because there was a rhinoceros in the roadway. And they were like, they're animals. There's nothing we can do. You can't move a 2-ton rhinoceros.
No, you wait for the rhino.
We just wait for him to move out of the dirt road, and then we can.
That happens all the time. Yeah,
so funny. I mean,
cool.
You don't think about it, right? Like, you just think, okay, I have my schedule, and but you know, they say,
and that rhino should have known.
But it looked like in acting, don't work with children and animals. Well, I had children and they had animals, and it didn't work very well. But it ended up not being a big deal, and we had a great time. It's always a great time. You learn so much, you see so much. They do such a great job. You know what else is really neat about the safari? If you don't look hard, right, you can't see any of the enclosures or any of the tricks that they do to make it look real. You can't tell unless you know what to look for.
Yes.
Which, it's just so cool. I encourage anyone to go and do it. And also, before you do, watch that Imagineering episode on Animal Kingdom, because it's really neat to see some of the behind the scenes stuff that then you'll see on the safari that you wouldn't have otherwise noticed.
And then my last plug for the safari is, if you've been several times and that's one of your favorites, best splurge of my life was doing the Wild Africa trek. So when that baby comes back, call us, because that was an amazing, it was pricey, but worth every cent to be able to go. You go behind the scenes in the safari. You have a private safari also, which is part of your tour. But because we don't stay on the path of the regular safari, we were able to stop for quite a while. At that time, they had a bunch of new baby giraffes, and we just parked it and just sat there watching, and they were telling us all these different tips and bits of detail about each giraffe. It was just the coolest thing ever. So I highly recommend it. It was great.
Cheaper than a trip to Africa.
Cheaper than a trip to Africa, 100%.
So my must ride at Animal Kingdom, of course, is Expedition Everest. And I probably would have said Avatar had I ever been able to take my family on it. My family hasn't done it yet. So nostalgia wise, like Everest is just, I love it. It's so fun. And I've gotten both of my kids on it, but never at the same time. There's usually one who chickens out. So for me, it's like, it's just a little experiment with my children every time. See which one's going to go on it.
Parenting 101.
Yeah, like one time, the kids are so funny, right? Like one time, one of them rode it twice, and then another time she wouldn't go near it. Like, It's a fun ride.
It is.
And watching their reaction when they realize like what's going to happen. It's cool. It's a cool roller coaster. It's not too scary, but it seems scary. Anyway, I love it. I love it. It's a good one.
Charlie, when he was little, used to call it the Yeti ride. Yeah. And he dragged, so my parents took him, he was 5, and they took him on a trip just by himself. Aww. And he made my dad ride the Yeti ride over and over again. Like,
at 5. Wow, that's impressive.
Big tall boy, big brave boy.
No, Tessa was 5 when she did it twice.
Lily has not been on it yet, so I'm excited because she's finally tall enough. But here's my bonus Mouseka tip for the day. I don't know if that is our Mouseka tip. I haven't.
No, it's not.
Okay. So my bonus Mouseka tip of the day is, even Christmas week, this works. Ride it at the very end of the day, because everybody's going over to Pandora to see the lights and everybody's making their way toward the exit.
Interesting.
Even Christmas Eve, we were able to ride it, get back online, ride it, get back online, ride it, get back. We probably did it 5 times in a row.
We did that once during spring break, but it wasn't at the end of the day. That I can't figure out the ride. Like, I can't figure out the busy times, because it can be an hour and a half.
Yes.
But I've waited 10 minutes in the middle of the day during spring break before. So I don't know.
I don't know what it is. Yeah. I don't know what it is, but it was.
But night, that sounds like a really smart call.
And it's a different experience at night because you're outside, so you're seeing like it was cool.
Yeah, it's a cool ride. All right. So our second favorite thing.
Yeah. So food is probably our first favorite thing. So snacks. So I feel very strongly that Animal Kingdom is one of the hidden gems for food in the theme parks, because we all know Epcot. We all think about Epcot and how their food is fantastic, right? Mm-hmm. But I've had some amazing and really unique and different food experiences in Animal Kingdom. Mm-hmm. Not just their sit down, their table service with Tiffin's, which is a signature restaurant, and Yak and Yeti is very popular. People love it, and their quick service at Satuli Canteen. All of that is great, mm-hmm. But I like to just walk around and eat their snacks, because you can get these amazing bites at all these little different cart kiosks that are even better than sitting down to a whole meal. So, you want me to start?
Yeah, what's your favorite snack?
All right. So again, these kiosks, Mr. Kamal's. It's a kiosk. It's right where that like road splits in between Asia and Africa. And they make the best French fries ever. They have some sort of spice thing on it. But the coolest part of the spiced fries at Mr. Kamal's is their dipping sauces. So usually they're served with 3. There's a saffron aioli, a curried honey mustard, and a sriracha ketchup. Or no, it's not sriracha, it's Korean chili. They used to do it where they would top it with like tzatziki sauce and sriracha. That was delicious also, and people had a fit when they no longer served that. But I think the fries are still really delicious.
I love good fries.
Yeah, they're really good. And I love a dipping sauce. So anywhere that you can take me where I can just dip and try like 18 different things. That's why everybody loves the bread service at Sanaa over there at the Animal Kingdom Lodge, because you can dip it into all these great things. So same idea, Mr. Kamal's. Go check it out. It's awesome.
I shall. For me, even though you can get some neat different ethnic foods that you can't get in other places at Animal Kingdom, I like the 8 Spoon Cafe. It's not open at present, so that doesn't help all you people that are going during this time. But someday when you go, it's just mac and cheese. It's mac and cheese, but it's Bates mac and cheese. And then they have one that has like shrimp and Creole on it, which I've never tried. But then they have one with pulled pork on top.
See? And yeah, I'm telling you, like, just go around and get snacks.
And it's just a snack. Yeah. It's just a snack. So like, and I think it was a snack credit on the dining plan. So like, remember, we've told you all before how much we like Flame Tree. Like, it's actually legit decent barbecue in Animal Kingdom. It's their pork. on mac and cheese. Need I say more?
Right?
No.
I'm telling you, snack around Animal Kingdom as if you were snacking around Epcot.
Absolutely.
It's
a lot
so
of good food in Animal Kingdom.
It really is.
So I'll throw another one at you that is not closed right now, and that's the ice cream truck. What's it called? Anandapur.
Yes.
Anandapur. So
oh my gosh.
The thing about it's just ice cream.
Yeah.
It's good ice cream. What makes this place perfect is its location. I said this on our Facebook page recently because someone posted a picture of their gorgeous ice cream cone. It's located like, my memory might be off a little bit because it has been a while, but it's kind of like almost in between Africa and Asia, right? Like sort of like on the way to Everest from Africa.
I think so. There's a bunch of little cart kiosks
like over there somewhere. Whatever it is, it's right at the point in my hot day at Animal Kingdom where I really want an ice cream. Like that. Where
you're walking and you're thinking about ice cream, and there it is.
And there it is. I mean, it's they know what they're doing.
It's magic.
They know what they're doing because when I want an ice cream, there's the truck.
Yes.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
So that's a good one too.
It's definitely, it's totally snackable. There's a snack. You can, there's a quick service window at Yak and Yeti.
Mm-hmm.
Their dumplings are amazing. Go get a snack there, and then go get your ice cream, and then go get your fries. And I mean, like, it's awesome. They also,
I'm hungry.
I know, I'm going to keep going. So we got to stop. So Lori's favorite. What did Lori say? Lori picked a drink.
No kidding. A coffee drink. Surprise.
A coffee drink. It does sound good. And we love our coffee drinks lately because the Tipsy Duck, new favorite. So I might need to do a comparison. And I wish Lori was on so she could, because she's had both. This is called Tamu Tamu. It's African coffee with, no,
it's at Tamu Tamu.
The place is Tamu. Okay, yeah. The place is Tamu Tamu, which I think you can also get that Himalayan drink.
Mm-hmm.
It's African coffee with amarula cream liqueur.
Okay. I don't know. I wish she was here to tell us about it. I feel like I need to Google it.
I feel like I'm going to need to try it because now I'm curious.
Coffee and booze.
Because how many years has this Tipsy Duck thing been around?
And we never tried it.
And years of my life wasted.
I love a coffee cocktail. I am going to make you love a White Russian. Don't look now, Jen. You already do. Look, amarula creme liqueur.
I know. It doesn't make sense. I get it. I probably will. I just can't get over how it looks like milk. It
looks like ice cream. Anyway, so that is snacks. We could go on forever.
We could go on and on. So we should
snacks,
not.
But those are the top. Yes, because we're trying to help you narrow your day down.
I know, right? Just go and eat. Forget the rides. Forget everything else we say. Just go eat.
All right. So what else is there?
All right. I love the photo ops. You need a picture. It's a
beautiful park.
It is gorgeous. That is hands down the prettiest park out of all four of them. It's beautiful. Obviously you have your iconic pictures at each of the four parks, but I feel like this one, there are multiple iconic pictures, and we don't have the same favorite, which is awesome because, there's so many. So what's yours?
Again, I don't know if mine can happen now. I don't know if he's running around.
But I think he's not running around. I think he's parked.
Okay. So
I'll let you know.
One of my all-time favorite ever experiences, actually, in all of Walt Disney World ever, was with Kevin. Kevin is the bird, and I shouldn't say he because Kevin's a she.
Kevin's a girl.
Yes, she is not running around. So where there's the outpost where you can meet Mickey and Minnie in their safari clothes, not far from there, if you just wander, I don't remember the name of that area. It's failing me at the moment. But if you just wander around for long enough, at least before, Kevin and a handler would just be walking around.
I think she changes her location too, because I have pictures of her from last year. So December 2019, right by the front of the Tree of Life.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I remember when I was by myself, it was during an agent trip,
Yes.
and I had separated from everyone, and I was by myself, and someone, a cast member, I don't know why, just said to me, like, walk around for a little while longer. You might see somebody. And I was like, hmm. So I did, and sure enough, then he's like, have you seen Kevin? And I was like, who? And then she comes out, and she was so awesome. And I took a video. I hope I still have it. I should post it. Yes. This little boy just walks up to her, and he starts dancing, and every move he did, she did. And it was quite literally, probably, aside from things that happen with my own children, one of the most magical moments I witnessed at Disney. It was just so incredibly special and sweet and cute, because there wasn't a line to see Kevin. She's just walking, she's just doing her thing, and people are waving at her, and nobody was like super paying attention, but this little boy just walked right up, did his thing, and it was so precious. I need to find that video, so I'll post it. It's so cute. It's so cute.
That's very sweet.
So I always like want to get a photo op with Kevin. I don't know, does that count as a photo op? I always look for Kevin to take a picture.
Absolutely. I'll have to let you know if she's back. I'm optimistic because, when Lori and I were there a couple of weeks ago at Hollywood Studios, they started bringing back some of the character interactions. They were still socially distanced, but I think from what the bigwigs who were standing there were saying, they're going to be bringing more and more of those experiences back into the park. So she's a fun one. So I bet she's on the agenda. So my photo op. Sorry, I'm reading my notes. My favorite that I have to do is Pandora in front of the floating mountains. I mean, they're so pretty. They're so pretty. Like, there's nothing. You can't even describe it. You have to show people. You just have to just go.
Right. There's nowhere else you're going to get a picture like that. Like when you're standing in front of those mountains and you get the picture, and there's a PhotoPass photographer right there.
Yes.
You show someone that picture, they're never going to be like, where is that? That could be anywhere. No, it's only in one place. It's
amazing. Cool. It's amazing, even if you are not a fan of the Avatar movie, soon to be movies, or if you've never even seen that. The first time I ever went there, I had never seen the movie. And I was blown away. And then, of course, we went back to the room. My children made me sit there and watch it. And it was a great movie.
It's like 3.5 hours long.
It's like 3.5 hours long.
I had seen the movie, and I was like, I don't really understand how they're going to make I knew how they would make a whole land because it's really beautiful. But I was just surprised that Disney had made such a big deal out of Avatar.
I'm not, because, again, it's Joe Rohde's baby, and he's very much into conservation and all the things that means. And that's basically what this movie was.
Yeah, that's true. You're right. Regardless, it's a beautiful area.
Gorgeous. It's gorgeous at night. I mean, it's indescribable during the day, but even more so at night. But I like my photo op during the day because you get the waterfall and you get the floating mountains and the blue sky. And it's like totally Instagram worthy and just gorgeous. So that's my photo op. What did Lori say? Lori, of course, in front of the Tree of Life. Absolutely. That's the iconic. Yeah.
It's also really cute right there. If there are PhotoPass photographers out, they'll give you, well, they probably don't do this anymore. I'm sorry, but they hand you a frame to hold. So like your faces are in the frame and the Tree of Life is behind you. And it's the only place I've ever had that experience where they give you the frame. It's cute. It was really cute.
I think they still do magic shots though. Like they'll put somebody in your hand or standing next to you or doing something. So, and it's still, if you're going to go to all 4 theme parks, you need the 4 iconic pictures. You need in front of the castle, in front of the Spaceship Earth, in front of the Tree of Life, and in front of the Chinese Theater.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's so true. You do. So there's those. All right. So speaking of the Tree of Life, I think that brings us right into the must-do sites in Animal Kingdom. So for me, we talked about the safari. Like there's a lot of sites in the safari, but another one is just that, to like you said earlier, the Tree of Life is totally 100% worth staring at. read about it before you go. Honestly, there's something like 300,000 leaves, all hand put onto this tree.
It's insane.
It's carved with, if you look closely, the shapes of animals make up the entire trunk. It's masterfully crafted. It's really a piece of art. It's amazing. And then if you're lucky enough to be there after sundown, it lights up in the evenings.
It does.
In a non-cheesy way. Like, it's all fiber optic, but it doesn't look like, those things from the 80s. Like,
it's gorgeous.
It is a must see. If you save that for the end of your day, it is worth it for sure.
And they used to do the projections on it too.
Yeah.
Pre-COVID. I don't know if
that's Awakenings. It was called Awakenings.
That was really pretty.
Everything. Yeah, and it's
and
like
it was
all
like
the
every
animals
10 minutes
alive.
for the last couple of hours.
Exactly.
So that was nice.
Yeah, it was what was so cool about it because it's perfect even for COVID because it's not like a one-time parade.
They might still do that.
I haven't heard. Someone let us know. I haven't heard either. Someone who's been let us know because it's not like it's a social distancing problem because people don't crowd as much because I used to tell clients, like, make sure to save 5 minutes on your way out to stop and wait for it because it's like every 15 minutes. It's not like you're waiting long. Just make sure you catch it at some point. And
especially now in the last couple of weeks with spring break, another silver lining of it being more crowded is they've been staying open later. Mm-hmm. So they might be doing that. I know that they were closing early for such a long time and it does need to be dark. So it might be back. I'm going to check it out. My must-see site I already gave away is Pandora at night. It's just gorgeous. It really is. And the things that you can notice, just take your time walking and don't just look ahead of you, but like when you're walking toward Pandora, there's like little fireflies in the trees next to you. Those are not real fireflies. That's like Disney magic. It's so
subtle,
cool.
Like all these little touches.
Looking down and all the iridescent, it's very cool. It's beautiful. So I always tell my clients, make sure you save some time to just walk through Pandora at night. It's just gorgeous. We're not friends anymore.
I know. I don't know if y'all heard me. I've never walked through Pandora at night.
Yep. She's out.
And I blame Jen.
Wow.
We talked about this on a previous podcast. You made me leave the park that day.
I made you.
You bribed me with Dole Whip and a pool.
You know what?
It was a good decision.
Free will. That's all.
Pandora will be there.
Pandora will be there. The Dole Whip, not so much.
It melts. Dole Whip melts.
It does. And then Lori's favorite must-see site this is a great one to talk about. The Jungle Trek. The entire walk is amazing, but she loves seeing the tigers. So don't forget that aside from the safari that you can do, there are also these walking trail, what's the right word for it? Like walking experiences that you can do in Asia and Africa where you can see other animals that you don't see on the safari. You can see them there. So like in Asia, you'll see the tigers. In Africa, we love walking on that trail.
Gorilla Falls.
It's to see the gorillas. It's awesome. It is. So, and also on those trails. So that again is a good, I feel like we're moving so quickly that the tradition, the must-do tradition, I'm actually going to change mine a little bit. I have two actually. So, but speaking of the trails and seeing the animals, I am obsessed with wilderness explorers. If you have younger kids, this is totally free, except for your admission ticket. And you can you get a handbook. So you guys know the wilderness explorers are the caw roar. What is it like? Caw, like from Up. It's from Up. What's his face? What's the little boy's name? I keep wanting to say Kevin, but that's the bird.
It's not Kevin, and it's not Doug. It's the little boy,
and it's not Carl. Hold on, I'm gonna. I know
everyone else's name: Carl, Ellie, Kevin, Doug, and it begins with an R.
Kid from Up.
Well, anyway, while you're looking, so he's a wilderness explorer. He needs to get his badges. You remember all that from the movie. So in Animal Kingdom, you can get a little booklet, and there are, I think
Russell.
13. I said R.
You did.
Russell. There are, I think it's like 13 or 16 stickers that your kids can earn, kids of all ages, by the way, can earn just by learning about the animals throughout their day. So there are just 13 or 16, I think I said, stations around the park. And there are wilderness guides, and they're in a particular uniform, and you can see them. It's easy to tell who they are, and you just go up to them and they'll teach you something about the animal in that area. And this goes back to the whole taking your time in Animal Kingdom. I remember the very first time we went, we stopped at a Wilderness Explorer and station, and my kids were learning about flamingos or something, and being ignorant of the way to tour Animal Kingdom, because it was our first time, I was getting very impatient, and I was like, we're not going to be able to get it all in. Like, she's taking forever. Oh my God. And now, and at the time I was like, no, this is messing up
with my schedule.
Totally. Don't be like that.
You and the rhino.
Oh my God. So this was just before the rhino, right? So then I get to the rhino and I'm like, Mother Lord, like, come on. That's a sabotage. I have a schedule. It's a good thing, I realize now, because the wilderness guides, I think they're called, they take their time with your children, and they don't pull in a huge group of kids. Like, they just, like, you walk up and they are yours.
Now, I wonder.
I think it is still happening. I think so too. I'm almost positive Wilderness Explorers is still happening. I think I checked recently.
I'm sure they don't pass around, like they used to pass around fossils and different stuff. They probably don't do that, but...
And they know how to make it age appropriate. So if you have a 3-year-old, they're going to keep your 3-year-old entertained. If you have a 10-year-old, they're going to keep your 10-year-old engaged. It's really, really cool.
Yeah.
These people are not just people that work, at a zoo. Not that there's anything wrong with people who work at a zoo, but like these are trained. It's Disneyfied. I mean, it's just over the top. They are knowledgeable and patient and kind, and they make magic because they're cast members. I highly recommend it. So what you do is here's a bonus Mouseka tip. When you walk into Animal Kingdom, you can go, over the Oasis. And I think it's on the bridge to the Oasis is the main Wilderness Explorers outpost. That's the first one you come to, where you can sign up.
You can start at any of them. Yeah.
This is my Mouseka tip. Right. No, it's good.
Stole your Mouseka tip.
I know, right? She's always doing that. No, I'm just kidding. It's just great minds think alike.
It is.
So, but the line there can get really long and another thing is it doesn't start until 10. So if the park opens at 9 and Wilderness Explorers doesn't start till 10, you don't want to wait around in the front of the park for an hour to get to it. But if you do, or if you're someone who doesn't show up at rope drop, I don't understand you. But if you are, the line at that outpost, which is the main outpost, is going to be the longest to sign up, to get your book, whatever.
But if you along the same lines of don't go to the first ride.
Don't go to the first ride. Yeah. Right. But if you just go to any one of the learning stations, you can sign up there. So
we've done it before. There's one right outside of the safari.
Mm-hmm.
So we've done, like, when we have an early morning safari and we're headed to Africa first, we'll do that, like, on our way out or whatever.
It's worth it. And don't be like me where you have to check everything off the box, because it's pretty impossible actually to get to every single Wilderness Explorer post in a single day, but you can always come back. They don't really change. And then I think, like, you get like different levels. Like if you get 6 stickers, you're a something or other. And then whatever it is. It's super cute. I love that they brought up into it. Because that's one of my favorites. I love it. So Wilderness Explorer is definitely a must-do tradition. But can I give you a second must-do? That's hard to say fast.
Yes, please.
Do tradition?
Yes.
This one's relatively new at Animal King, relatively, just a few years old. And it's the Animators Experience. Is that what it's called?
It is.
Love this, you guys. Like, this is so special. So you have to go to Rafiki's Planet Watch. So you need to take the train from Africa to Rafiki's Planet Watch. And there's like a bunch of stuff there that's cute. I'm not a fan of petting zoos, so I avoid that part. But there's conservation station and all kinds of stuff. It's not all open yet, but Animators Experience is open, and it's like every 30 minutes or 45 minutes.
They run pretty frequently because we sat there and did 2 in a row because I went with my animator.
Yes, this is a special one for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they teach you step by step. They pick a character and they teach you to draw it. And
yes.
What would you say, Jen, would be like the minimum age that you would take someone to do this? I mean, I guess it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. There is no minimum. Lily did not do it with us just because she was not at all interested. So Jack and I went by ourselves, but she totally could sit there and do it. Jack does not get his talent from me. I do stick figures, and even I was able to do the draw. I think what did we do? We did one of the hyenas from the Lion King. It's all animals, obviously from the animal kingdom. We did the hyena, and we did one of the ants or the grasshopper from Bug's Life. Because we stayed for 2. So you draw one for each session. They'll teach you how to step by step. And they change it. That's why we stayed.
Yeah. I thought it would be the same one all day long.
No. So you can go as many times as you want. They must repeat them sometime in the day, but we did 2 in a row. And they were, we did 2 in a row, and they were both different. And mine came out decent. Like, you could totally tell who it was because they do really simple step-by-step. The animator is in front of the room, and he has a projector, or she has a projector, and it's projected onto this big screen. And they talk to you while they do it, and they tell you a little bit about themselves and their background, and they talk about the character. And it was a really cool experience, especially if, like for us, I have Jack, who's applying to colleges for animation. So it was very cool for him, because then at the end, like, I don't know if you could really do this now, but why not? At the end, he went up and he talked to them, and where to go to school.
Cool. I mean, all of these things, like, you can talk to cast members in all of the parks, right? Of course, we always say that. But these things, these little touches, the Wilderness Explorers, the Animators Experience, all of it, these are the things I feel like that set Animal Kingdom apart from the other parks. It's definitely
not a zoo. No, it's a huge part of our experience and our memories every time we go too. It's who we talked to and what we learned, and it's awesome. So
we also like to do the drumming in Africa. They have the drums out, and they'll have someone teach you how to play the drums.
Yes. Yep. Or they'll do dancing, because I have a video of me also from this 2019 most recent trip with my family. And I was one of the ones chosen from the audience, and Charlie thought that was hysterical and videotaped me. And it's not my finest moment, but I was having a great time. So there you go, Charlie.
There you go. Yeah, no. I just told my kids the other day that I live to embarrass them. So,
yes, 100%.
So if your dancing embarrassed him, it's like a total win.
That's great. It's great.
What did Lori say?
Lori's tradition. So our traditions were kind of similar. So her tradition is that her family always goes to the safari first. That's the first thing they have to do, which that's usually, like I said, it's not always the same, because now we like to go once in the morning and once at night. Our tradition, though, I talked to you about it before with the Expedition Everest Mouseka Tip. We like to ride at the end of our day over and over and over again. And it'll be cool this year because Lily's now tall enough to ride that one. So she is a daredevil. So I have no doubt that she will be all over this. So I'm excited to do that on this trip coming up.
All right.
Yeah.
Did we miss anything? I feel like
I know. I mean, we could have talked about the food for another hour.
Yeah, I
but we
could talk
didn't.
about all kinds of things in Animal Kingdom for another hour. One thing I do want, just want to mention the thing that I miss the most right now in Animal Kingdom, and it's the Festival of the Lion King. But they're bringing it back in a
Yes.
modified way, and I'm really curious to see how it's going to work because it used to be like in the round, right? The action was right in the middle, and the dancing and the costumes, and they
Yes.
pulled kids in from the audience, and it was really, really cool.
Yes.
Have they already started the new version or is it coming soon?
I think it's June.
Okay.
I want to say June. I have a feeling, I mean, obviously it's still going to be in that theater, so I think it's going to still be in the round. I think that the changes we're going to see is obviously the social distancing. They're not going to allow as many guests into the pack. It's not going to be a packed theater anymore. And I have a feeling they'll have to do away with pulling kids in from the audience for a while.
Sure. But I'm sure it will still be an amazing spectacle.
But other than that, if they keep the rest of the show, which I think they totally can, it's a beautiful show.
Mm-hmm.
It is that's one of my must-dos. The other shows that they have there are Finding Nemo. The Up Bird show is happening right now.
Oh, okay, good.
Well, sort of. So they had, right before COVID, they had changed the show to an up theme. Mm-hmm. I don't think it is now. I think it's just a bird show.
Right, agreed. Because it used to be flights of Passage? That doesn't make sense. That's the Avatar ride.
It's something about flight. Birds
Wonders
of Flight.
Flights of Wonder. Flights of Wonder.
Yes. And I loved it. I preferred that one to the Up.
To the Up one. I never did see the Up one, actually.
It was cute, but...
And the Nemo show. Don't waste your time, people. You heard it here first. We're not going to tell you everything's wonderful. The Nemo show is a waste of time. It's the movie in puppet form. It's lame.
Yeah, it's pretty, but it's long.
It's not open now anyway. But if you're hot and you need a nap and your kids will be interested, do it. But if we're talking about things like during spring break to narrow down your day, it's a skipper.
It's a skipper. Yeah, I like the bird one though. It's pretty and it's usually not a wait and not crowded. So if you need to sit for a while and see a cool show.
Yeah. Also, none of us mentioned Dinoland. Nothing in Dinoland came up as a must-do in Animal Kingdom.
Yeah, nothing is must-do in Dinoland.
It's not.
I don't even like the ride that's there. I know a lot of people do.
It's well, the one ride is gone. The spinny one, right?
And most of it's not open right now for COVID. Most of that area because it's like a carnival thing, and you can't really do that kind of stuff. And then Dinosaur is over there, and it's just not one of my favorites. I get sick from it.
Yeah, that one too. That one doesn't make Jen gets sick from simulator rides. That one doesn't bother me. But it's
the funny thing is we did not, beside the beauty of Pandora, we didn't really talk about the attractions as being a must-do for us.
Which also is weird because they're both kind of amazing. I guess we should talk about that in case people feel like
if you have to choose, go to Flight of Passage, not Navi River. Navi River is It's a Small World on steroids. Beautiful though. I prefer it to It's a Small World. It's gorgeous to see. The animatronics are insane. But if they're both long waits and you need to choose, and from what I understand from what Lori has been telling us, Navi River has consistently been a much longer wait than Flight of Passage because of how they have to do the social distancing on the boats. So that makes your decision a lot easier. Go on Flight of Passage. It's fabulous. It's definitely height restriction. I forget what the height is. I don't know if Lily can.
There's a lot of restrictions with Flight of Passage, not only with height, but you actually can't be too big either because the way the ride works, you're supposed to be riding a Banshee.
Yes.
You have to fit into this seat and your shins get squeezed and your back gets squeezed. And in some younger kids that are big enough get frightened just because they don't like when the thing closes down on you, they sort of, I've heard it's a great ride. And
It's beautiful.
If you've never ridden it, it should be on your must-do list.
Yes.
Like, it's definitely something you have to do. But if we're talking about like must-dos for us who get to go a lot,
it didn't make the list.
It's really surprising. It surprises even me that it's not on the list, because it's
great.
One of the best rides in the entire Walt Disney World. Like, it's.
I think that and Rise of the Resistance and Hagrid's Motorbike are my 3 favorite rides in the entire world. I haven't been everywhere, so who knows? But they are fantastic in terms of you don't like a roller coaster. You have roller coasters everywhere. You know, if you live close to a Six Flags, you get your roller coaster fix. But those 3 rides have things in them that you just don't see everywhere. So it's definitely a must do.
So add
that one.
Listener, add it to your list. We're sorry we didn't mention it earlier. And you laugh every time I do that.
It's so cute. Mark.
So anywho,
I think we covered it. I think we did a good job.
If we do say so.
I think if we keep talking, we're just going to keep adding to the list, and we're supposed to be short and sweet, and these are your must-dos,
right?
If you have to choose,
right?
So
we're not making it easier, because we love everything. We love everything at Animal Kingdom.
Wait till the Epcot episode. That's going to be tough.
Bear with us, folks. We might have to change the theme.
I know.
Anyway,
use in Epcot part 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Your first time, your second time, your third time.
Right. We'll have to think about it.
All right. But we were initially trying to talk about what to do in Animal Kingdom if it's crowded and you need to narrow it down. So hopefully we helped you out a little bit. Yes. But that leads us to the Mouseka tip. What is it, Jen?
So our Mouseka tip for crowded, busy park days. So if you know where you want to eat, if you want to sit down for a meal, obviously if you want to sit down on table service, that's a reservation that's going to have to be made well in advance. But if you know that you want to do a quick service, for example, in Flame Tree Barbecue, then our tip is to order early in the morning. Even if you don't want to eat your lunch until 1 o'clock in the afternoon, with mobile ordering right now, you can choose your arrival time. So get your family together while you're waiting online for the safari, order your food, choose your arrival time for later in the day. And that way, when you get to the restaurant at 1 o'clock, all you have to do is click I'm here. And that way you're not just getting to the restaurant and then having to order and then having to click then click your arrival time, which then it won't be until hours later.
Right. And because the biggest reason this makes a difference is when it's crowded and you go to order, the arrival time you want might not be available because they don't, like you don't.
Especially in those peak times, like for lunch, it's going to be from 12 to 2. So if you get there at 1 and are ready to eat at 1, but you haven't ordered your food yet, you might be eating at 3. In these crowded times. So order in the morning, and that way you don't have to think about it until you get there. It does mean that you're going to have to do some pre-planning, and that if you order ribs in the morning, it doesn't matter if you're not really into ribs by lunchtime, you're eating the ribs.
You're eating ribs or you're waiting a couple hours.
You're eating the ribs.
So check to see which restaurants have mobile order too. That will be helpful for you as well. Yes. But I feel like most of the quick service lunch places,
especially now,
snacks will be different. But,
yes, snacks are different.
I love it. All right. So thank you for spending another episode with us. Please, let us know. Tell us what your must-dos are at Animal Kingdom in the comments or on our Facebook group. And if you're thinking of heading to Disney World next spring break, rates are out for next spring break. Can you believe it? Hard to think that far in advance these days. We're so used to planning minute to minute with COVID, but rates are out for next year. Highly encourage you to consider it. So contact Kingdom and Cruise for a free, no obligation quote. And for the latest news out of Disney, don't forget to visit our blog at Mouseka with an S, blog.com. And join our group on Facebook at Disney Planning and Chat by Mouseka Moms.